Boys, Joseph here. It is Saturday. It's Orange Cap Day. Let me send this live to my friends. So, welcome, boys, welcome. Saturday, last Saturday before Christmas. It's a sunny December here in Santo Domingo, bright 29 degrees, 30 degrees today, as always, here in the tropics. This bombastic, bootylicious city. You just step outside, it feels like there's just gunpowder in the air. Everything is explosive in the city. The music, the girls, the heat, everything. So I'm happy to be here. Yeah, in this Christmas season. And so, if you're new to my life, I'm Joseph, Wingbro. On this channel, I discuss, more importantly, problem solve for guys and provide education and principles related to relationships, cold approach, male-female dynamics. My qualifications to talk about such things is, I'm 40. I did my first cold approach when I was 15. I lost my virginity when I was 15 to actually one of the girls I cold approached in a club. So it's 25 years of experience, the ups and downs. In my 20s, I went into a hermit phase for a few years where I was just very focused on work, and I realized I was getting left behind socially. Unfortunately, then I had some health problems, so I couldn't really do very much for a couple of years. But once I did come back, I really hit the social scene very hard for about a decade, from about 26 to about 36. And during that time, I was also a nightclub promoter as well. That was a second job that I had, like just a bonus job, which I basically did for the social life and meeting hot women. So that's my background. I've seen a lot in that. I've done a lot in that, as you can probably imagine. And I've also been living internationally for the last 6 years as well. I've lived in, I know that I've lived in 12 countries, including Brazil, Dominican Republic, Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, UK, obviously, Romania, North Macedonia, Serbia, Bosnia, Turkey, and then traveled to a bunch as well. And so I've done approach, I've met girls in a lot of different countries. So that's my experience. I'm also a coach. I train guys in the noble art of cold approach. I run the world's only existing peer-reviewed cold approach system. It's a system that me and some friends developed over the last couple of years. And for daytime approach, there's quite a few technical things that very few people actually know. Very few people actually even know about. That's the system that I run, and that's why I get such good results with clients. You can see a recent video where a 37-year-old Asperger's guy came into work with me, and over a period of a few months developed himself and lost his virginity, which is from a girl he met in daytime approach, which is an amazing thing. But this is fairly routine, to be honest. I get messages every week from guys saying, yeah, the girl said I was so bold, I was so confident, it was such an amazing experience. And so, yeah, that's my background. And on this live, I'm going to discuss, the search for global tens, meeting global tens. Yeah, international experiences, meeting global tens, international experiences. So today I want to talk more, just before I get into this, if you're coming up to the end of 2025, going into 2026, you still feel lost at sea in the modern dating world, particularly if you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s. Equally, I can work with guys who are younger, but you've got to be mature. I would say, my friend, you don't want to hang around and linger around until 2027, 2028. If you like my content and your personal life is not where it could be, the question you have to ask yourself is, because it's an important area of your life. It's an important area of your life. I could talk about other things. There's other interests that I have, but the reason I've done a channel on this is because I know it's such an important area of your life. For me, until this area of my life was on track, it sort of felt like everything else was just a frustrating waste of time. What's the point having the money? What's the point having, um, you know, a great group of friends? What's the point of having the physique and all of this? If you're fundamentally struggling with just the mechanics of getting a girlfriend, it feels like everything else is futile. And a lot of guys feel like they're underperforming, and which I can relate to. And so I indexed on this and actually put a lot of time and effort into improvement, which is why I'm qualified to teach. You can see the infields on my channel. That's way less than 1% of what I'm doing at the moment. If you are in a position as I've just described, calendly.com/wingbro, get on a call with me. We can strategize about how you can move forward in the coming year. The program I run, the flagship program, is a 3-day immersion with 90-day support. The 3-day immersion will get you, I'm not even going to say it will get you 10 years of approach experience in 3 days. It will get you to a level within 3 days that you simply could not have got to on your own, even in 10 years, as ridiculous as that sounds. Because first of all, you wouldn't do 10 years alone, but you wouldn't even do 1 year alone. You probably wouldn't even do 10 weeks. But even if you did, there are things that I can see that you can't see. And so me and my friends, we video each other, we give each other feedback. This is why we've got so good. So you will get an infinite amount, literally infinite amount of progress, because it's a level of progress you cannot get on your own. So guys are going out doing cold approach alone. Good for them, and good for you, and you should be, to be honest. You should be. You can watch some of my videos where I break it down, but just realize the levels you just cannot unlock unless you're actually with someone who knows what he's looking at and who can actually give you feedback. And cold approach is hard. So if you're going out there, it's like you're going out onto the battlefield and you've got a pistol. Like, yeah, you might hit someone, but I would rather be going out strategically, like in a group, where I've got the highest caliber weaponry, I've got the highest caliber tactics, and I know every time I go out I'm going to succeed. So it doesn't mean every girl's going to fall at your feet. That's obviously ridiculous. But every time you go out, once you've been trained, you will succeed as far as is physically possible. So yeah, if that's interesting to you and you like my content, and just ask yourself, my friend, what's going to change? Nothing changes unless you change. So yeah, I'm taking calls over the Christmas period. calendly.com/wingbro. It's worth getting in now because I'm doing a lot of infields. This sounds like a sales thing. It's really not. I'm doing a lot of infields next year, and once those start to come out, because it's the only thing I'm lacking on this channel is a lot of high caliber infields. I've got about 10 or 15, but I want to be putting up like 100. Once they come out, my price will be unaffordable to some people, because at that point I will then be spearheading this whole industry at that point. So yeah, you get me and my band of brothers, the Assassin's Creed of cold approach. Yeah, tropical thumbnail, exactly. Mate, good to see you. We should do a live soon. So yeah, so the guys out there who are actually good at this, most of the guys out there are literally in my private network, and it just there's so many levels between what you think is good and what is actually good. So yeah, so that being said, let's talk now about global tens. This will interest you, Balthus, actually. So the pursuit of global tens, interacting with global tens. Across my life, since being 15 years old, I've interacted with a fair amount of true 9s and 10s. And there is a physiological difference between a true 9 and 10 and the rest of the girls. It doesn't make them morally superior. It doesn't make them more intelligent. It doesn't make them better people. But there is a physical difference. And you notice it instantly. They are. It's what I would describe as genuine beauty. It's not just pretty or not just hot. It's genuine beauty, and genuine beauty is, by definition, rare. By definition, rare. It's very high facial symmetry, extremely good body proportions. They usually basically have essentially no body fat, and then in some cases also have large breasts as well, and curves and ass. Um, well dressed. Just there's as soon as you see them, you know exactly. That's a different level, and it's striking, and it hits you on a gut visceral level. That was a being, that was a creature. And so that's what I'm talking about now. Um, there's a kind of, I almost feel like a sweet spot is the 8, because the 8 is extremely hot. The 8 is smoking hot, and she'll get compliments, and guys will be jealous, and blah 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 of you when you're walking around with her on your arm. But there's a slight attainability to the 8, whereas the 9s and 10s, they seem more unattainable. So I'm just going to talk about that now. I think the first true 10. Well, let me give her a 9. There's a 9 that I pulled when I was 7. No, well, maybe 15. Might have even been my first kiss. That was a good way to start. And I pulled her through proximity. I was on holiday in Bournemouth, of all places. She was half French, half Guyanese. And we were both 15. She's the same age as me. And we would go on holiday to the same place every year. So I'd known her since we were about 10 or 11. And at some point when we were about 15, the hormones started to kick in, and we started to fancy each other. And then we pulled. And then it's kind of cool. The next couple of years after that, we would have a fling every summer for like a week. And it was funny because the first time I pulled her, things got pretty heavy, to be honest. We were getting pretty ravenous. For 15-year-olds. But the first time I pulled her, the other guys, we'd see the other guys around this hotel, and it was like a group of kids. It was so fucking cool. It was so much fun. And the other guys like kind of took the piss out of me a little bit, because they're like, oh yeah, she's kind of lanky, she's kind of skinny and lanky. I was like, I don't know, dude. I've been close up to this girl. Like she is feline. Her features are outrageous. And then a year later, when she turned 16, she got scouted by Vogue. So she got scouted literally by, first of all, I think her parents saw something in her, and they sent in some photos, and then it immediately got the call up. And yeah, she got scouted. She was a professional model, and not just nowadays everyone's a model. This was back in the day. This would have been early 2000s. This is when there was no social media. You had to be scouted by a major production company. And you go in, you do castings, you do catwalk. She did Christian Dior, she did Vogue. The big one is Vogue. You know, that is pinnacle of women's fashion. And she was in Vogue when she was about 16, 17. And then actually, she kind of became a bit of a party girl. Not too crazy, but it did affect her looks. Her skin started to get a bit worse. She put on a tiny bit of weight. Tiny bit. For a normal girl, she'd still be skinny, but for a model, that in those days, like, you were out of the game. If you were above a size 6, you were out of the game. Weird when you think about it. So yeah, she was out of the game by about 19, 20, and then in her early 20s, she just became a socialite. She's literally married to, I don't know if he's a member of the Dubai royal family, but he lives in Dubai and he's Arab, and he's extremely rich. So that was my first global 10. So I had a taste early on. And she definitely there's a different gravitational field around that girl when she was young. So that was my first experience of it. And then over the years, it's kind of come and gone over the years. And one of the biggest things there in that example was just proximity. Sure, I was decent looking. Sure, I had some confidence, I suppose. That was some value, but I don't know, I was only 15. But it was mostly proximity. And So that was the first one. So proximity is important, and this is. Let me go into this straight away. Proximity and social familiarity. So being in a circle, being a face that she crosses paths with more than once, gives you so much bigger an advantage as compared to just one bold cold approach. Cold approach is a magnificent art form, and it will get you girls, and it may get you to global 10, maybe. But if you are in a similar circle to the girl and you circulate and she sees you around just 2 or 3 times, then all of a sudden you become a very interesting proposition for this girl. Then you become much more titillating and exciting. And this is just something that guys majorly miss in this space, and this is a fact. Okay, this is not an opinion, this is a fact. If a girl knows you socially, she is more likely to sleep with you. If a girl is even peripherally, you've got a friend who knows her friend and you were out together in one night, that's enough. You don't need to have anything more than that. It's basic social proof, because that demonstrates you're safe, you're in the right social group, etc. And so that, for us swashbuckling pirates of daytime cold approach and nighttime cold approach, this is something that we can miss, and I think many guys don't understand this. If you're just peripherally in the girl's circle, you know, it doesn't need to be that deep, but she just knows your circle vaguely, you are much, much more likely to pull her. Much more, like 3 or 4x more likely. Okay. And it's less work, right? It's less work. And there are some girls who they're just very conservative with the guys that they go for. Like they want their strong preference is for a guy who's in their social circle. I used to run, I didn't call it this, but it was effectively social circle game. And I remember with some girls I got with how hard I had to push even within that circle. I'm like, a guy coming from the outside's got no chance. He's got absolutely no chance with this girl. Absolutely zero. Because I'm in communication with her. Every time I see her, there's flirtation, I'm sexing her up a little bit. And it's taken me a good 3-4 weeks. So if you're just a guy's coming in on one approach, it's fucking no chance. I think younger girls as well, early 20s, this is a thing with them as well. They're more in that social group. Obviously, you should always approach, but just be aware you may be up against this. Balthus knows what I'm talking about. Be aware you may be up against this. And so the solution for this is to develop some kind of a social game, social circle game. That is the solution. If you're too lazy to do that, what I would strongly advise is find the guy. Find the guy. There'll be the guy in your city who's organizing events or who's doing something. Just find him. Yeah, maybe through social media, maybe going to in-person stuff. Maybe when you next go to a bar or a club, just look around and you'll see the guy or the guys. And you use your cold approach skills with these guys. How I developed my social circle game is I connected in. I was out a lot, but I connected into a guy who, he was the true connector. He had the massive social circle. And as soon as we met each other straight away, we were like, yeah, we're going to be, literally as soon as we met each other. He heard me talking Spanish in the street. I was going to a club with these 2 Spanish girls. He was from Colombia. And he heard me talking Spanish in the street. He was going, I think he was waiting for the tickets to the same club or something. And we had a quick conversation. And then I saw him out in another club about 4 or 5 days later, and and I was like, this guy's interesting. And then he invited me to his Halloween party, so I went down with a few friends and like a couple of girls as well. And he had this apartment that he turned into literally he turned it into a club. He studied electronics, so he had all these fucking lasers. I've never seen anything like this. The guy was a legend. He had lasers all over the place. He had flags all over the place. He was just a super international guy. Loved the white European women. He wanted to nail a girl from like every country in the world. Or, you know, your classic stuff you want to do when you're 25, 26. And yeah, he had a projector. We used to take his projector out to clubs and project stuff onto the walls. The guy was a complete animal, dude. And he was my connect. He was my connect. And he valued me because um, I got it. I got it socially. I knew how to be around everything. I was great, uh, great backup for any of his events, and also I was more bold in the approaches themselves. So if he ever needed a wing, he just knew he had me, and I would fire in like a fucking heat-seeking missile first. I, Sometimes when you're in that club environment, you just need your mate just to take out the other girl or the other group of girls. So I would do that for fun sometimes, and we just had this incredible 2 or 3 year run, and just amazing years, and just what we were able to do together. There is no way we would have made it happen on our own. It would just be impossible. And there was an Arab guy who joined us he had the apartment in town. So we had two apartments in the city centre. One of them was like a penthouse. This Arab guy who was cool as fuck, 5'6", absolute animal. And then there was my friend as well, who was more of the. He was actually probably the biggest playboy. He would go out in the red blazers and stuff like that, the suede, and we were just an absolute unit together. The four of us, it was just absolutely carnage. Yeah, that was a true entourage. That was a true entourage. We would just go out to, like me and Baltus when we were in Belgrade. When you're together, we go out into the street. We end up on an instant date, and we were doing this, but we were dragging girls. We were bringing girls back to after parties at my friend's penthouse. It was carnage, dude. I remember there was one that sometimes guys would get. We'd obviously just try and get the girls. Sometimes guys would get in as well, and they would obviously be resentful little dickheads. And I remember one night where there's about 6 girls there from some international party, and a couple of guys had got in as well. And then it was me and my mates. And what we would just do as a matter of course was like, I'm just right, I'll shove this girl here, she's sat on the sofa, she's giving the eyes a little bit. And I can't remember what I did. I just go over to her, I can't even remember I think I took my scarf off or something and put it around her neck and gave her some kind of a lap dance or something like that. This girl's like 6 foot fucking chick. Her eyes are going around in her head. And it's like 3 a.m. This is the kind of stuff we were just doing. I mean, yeah, I can't go into the details, but it was absolutely insane. And that was only achievable because we had a group and we were on a scene, and over time we became known. And even then we were very aggressive. We were extremely proactive. So I just don't see how there was no one who could really compete with us, because there was 4 of us, and we had all the logistics, we had everything sorted. We were the party. That's how we did get, at the time, in my opinion, the best girls in the city that were available. They were a level above anything that I'd got up to that point, and it's the same for my friend as well. It was kind of it feels immoral to say this, but I kind of started off on the 7, like Spanish 7, and then by the end I'm with this 20-year-old stripper who's solid. I'd say she's a solid 8.5. At the time I thought she was a 10. Personality wise, she probably was a 10. Body wise, she was probably about an 8.5 realistically. But she was the best I've got up to that point. My friend's girl, I'd say she was maybe an 8.8. And we were 27, so that's, I don't know, for that age it's actually pretty fucking good, to be honest. So that's just a story to illustrate the power of wingmanship, the true power of wingmanship and being on a scene. And so you don't have to go as intense on the party vibe as we went. I couldn't do that now because it would not be compatible with my lifestyle. But you can leverage it in other ways. Me, Balthus, and Ephraim, we started to see this in Belgrade, and this really, the next phase up is where you're throwing little events. I think there's higher echelons as well. I'm in touch with a couple of modeling agencies. I'm trying to get to one of their events. There was one last Friday, but I wasn't in Santo Domingo. So that's the next phase, is to just to be a peripheral figure, right? And it honestly, like with clubs, this is why clubs are so good, because you can see the same girl around a couple of weeks in a row, and like the second or third week, you pull her, and on the first week you might have gone full throttle, and it just wasn't enough, and you're the same guy. So familiarity, some social proof, some social recognition massively plays into your favor. And when a girl knows she's the bee's knees, she knows she's got the options. Why does she need to throw herself at the guy who just because he did a bold approach in a cafe? She doesn't need to. So yeah, you absolutely go for the jugular with these tens. When you see them, you go for the fucking jugular. Yeah. When you're out in the streets, you're out in the mall, you go for it like an absolute fucking wolf. And there is a decent chance you'll get her, but just be aware there's this other dynamic going on, which is very real. And most guys in daytime cold approach, a lot of guys are kind of loners, and they don't really get this. So you need to be establishing. Well, I would recommend establishing some type of entourage, some kind of clan gang effect. Yeah. And this is actually a genuine conundrum for me because I'm a nomad. I don't have enough time to settle in places to actually get on a scene for very long. So, yeah. Let's just go to questions then now. So, Aryan, how did you decide who to wing with? It's just obvious, mate. I just wing with the best guys. I wing with the best guys I can. So, you should wing with the best guys you possibly can. I know you're out doing approaches and stuff, so you should be winging with the best guys you can. I'd also just advise developing a general social circle. So me and my friends, like, we did other stuff apart from going out to pull women. We would go to the cinema, we would go to Chatsworth House, we'd do all sorts of stuff. They'd play five-a-side together. So we do other stuff. We just generally party together. We go to salsa, we do other things, but obviously we're like men 26, 27 years old. Obviously we're on the make. Obviously we're going after girls, obviously. And that was a main priority. Like, that was just understood. It's like, this is fun, we're out here hunting. And we're friends anyway, but yeah, that was just understood. So yeah, in general, just building a good social circle in general. Building a good social circle in general is an important step. It's important just to have that social lubrication as well. Like, if you've got a good social circle and you're doing a few activities, 1 or 2 activities a week, that keeps you in the flow. And when you're meeting girls out and about, you've also got stuff to talk about. You also actually have a life to bring the girl into. So yeah. And is there anything else on this? Yeah, that's the kind of entourage aspect of it. So be aware of that, guys. That's something, I'm looking at building back up again now. I've done a lot of travel over the last 5-6 years. I'm going to be more primarily based in the DR and Serbia going forward. I will still take trips to other places, but I want to now recirculate in places so I can build more of an established network. I think the other countries I'm interested in traveling to, probably Asia, probably mostly Japan in Asia. That's the one that appeals to me the most. Samurai culture. And then 1 or 2 other places in Latin America. I've not been to Colombia yet, so that's on the list as well. But in terms of places to establish myself, I feel that my bases now going forward are going to be the DR and Serbia. I just feel like they're the best. For me, they fit with the 2 sides of my personality. So yeah, anything else with the 10s, and also just realizing that you have to be the girl's best option. So that may mean just and it's not always what people think it is. It's not you have to be the best looking, richest option. it's such a toxic thing that's like happened, especially when the girl's young, especially when she's in her early 20s to mid 20s. That's not fucking important. That's important to 30-year-old women. Again, God, I feel the rage building inside me when I think about these looks maxing, money looks status guys. I like, you fucking idiots, you total idiots, morons. That matters to women when they're 30 and they know they have to find someone and they understand like the real game that's going on. That matters to those girls then. In their early 20s when they're sexy and sultry and experimenting, that shit doesn't fucking matter to them. That doesn't matter to them. Or in most cases anyway. It's ironic. I actually, one of my friends here, she sells soap in the streets. This girl is actually, I can't imagine what she'd have been like at like fucking 20. Like she's 37. Her body's outrageous. Her ass is like two fucking cannonballs. And she's completely ripped as well, like no fat, just two cannonballs in her ass. Super fine features. I think she's had a bit of a fucked up life, but she's very well preserved. She's 37. And it's just so funny because she is all about money. She's all about cash. She doesn't give a. She tries to sell soap to me every day, and I tell her to fuck off every day. Occasionally, I will buy soap from her, but I mostly just take the piss out of her, bully her. And she basically does cold approach for a living. When I think about it, she cold approaches people to sell her soap, and she makes a fair amount of money doing it. Like she's fucking good at it. Super aggressive, super high pressure sales, like unbelievable. But yeah, she was out yesterday with her daughter, and it's funny because I had a conversation with her the other day. I literally see this chick almost every day, and she was saying, she's saying she's got a boyfriend. This is always a boyfriend. There's always an Italian boyfriend who's just turned up. She basically just seduces tourists for a little bit and then they take her out. That's basically what her game is. And she was saying how like he'd bought her a dress and she bought him this, that, and the other. And I was like, he bought her like different things, and she was like, yeah, yeah. And then I said like, I can't remember what I said, but she's like, no, no. Obviously, I don't sleep with him until he's bought me stuff. And I'm like, that is so fucking hilarious to me. Like, first of all, that's prostitution, which I said, and she was like, no, it's not. It's not money. Blah blah blah. And then I was just like, yeah, but you're. She still looks incredible for her age, to be honest. But I was like, you should have been doing this when you were 25, like when you were 23. Do you realize what you could have attained? You could be living in a fucking. You could be chilling in a massive apartment in Piatini right now, or in or in Miami or something. Why you're doing this at 37? I'm like, no offense, love. I'm not taking you fucking nowhere. At 37 years old, love. Sorry, yeah, you're not getting any special treatment. She definitely fancies me, this chick. I'm not just saying that, but she definitely does because I see through her game. I see through her. You can't hustle a hustler. I'm out in the streets hustling every day as well. So yeah, we have quite a funny dynamic actually. Sometimes I see like other guys, like she's flirting with other guys and stuff like that. It's this weird dynamic, meta dynamic of me bullying her. But yeah, it's just interesting. Like she's older, she's in her 30s. Now she really knows the game to the point she's like, I'm not fucking going out unless he buys me a dress. That's how much, in some cases, they know the game. That's obviously like, she's an outlier in that respect. She's a fucking Dominican soap seller, so she's got to make her way. But the younger hot girls, you know, in most cases, they're quite drifty. They don't really know what they want in life, and they just go with their emotions. They want to be turned on. So the value to a young woman is mostly emotional. Just get yourself across the line with the physical side. It's mostly emotional. This is where you can punch supposedly above your weight. And this is why the 9s and 10s actually are achievable. It's because women are emotional fucking creatures. They want an emotional experience. So you spike them up all over the place. You challenge them. You know, Balthus Daygame does this very well. He's got like a relaxed, confident, challenging manner. And that's this kind of what I do as well. that's why I love the more fiery girls. For me, I like them more because there's more to work with. When they're very serene, that's kind of like you can't quite, you're not quite hitting the same energy. You're just kind of like you're circling and jabbing, yeah. Um, Whereas when it's the girl's quite fiery, then it's just a straight up punch out in a phone box. It's just like back and forth, and you get that stimulus going on. Um, so yeah, so leverage the emotional side, leverage the emotional side. And actually, just to illustrate a point as well, a girl I've been speaking to in the Balkans, who's like very hot girl, I'm still very interested in. She was talking about, obviously, we're not together, so there's one day she was talking about she went out to pie and she pulled some guy or whatever, and she was like, yeah, it was really weird because it was just like, so the guy was some big Balkan dude, right? Big, muscular, good-looking Balkan dude, and she was like, it was literally just like pulling just a lump of lead. That's how it felt. It was just nothing. It was like pulling a dead body. And then she directly compared it to like pulling me, which is like, she was like, it was way more exciting. It was like romantic and thrilling. And so again, the girl's having an emotional experience with you, dude, an emotional experience. And yeah, that guy's probably some young, blonde, like hunk, good-looking, so cool. What the Giga Chad type of guy. There are some guys like that in out there in Serbia. And he was. I think I know who it was actually. I think he was one of those types. And she felt absolutely nothing at all for this guy. And I know we go back and forth doing sexting and stuff like that. So she's kind of I'm penetrating her reality from 10,000 miles away just with my mind and my WhatsApp. And so the emotional aspect is so deep. So yeah, just fixate on that because that is where the gold is, boys. That is where the gold is. Um, yeah, it's incredible to me that guys think money is this big thing. It's just like it's only a big thing when they become old and cynical. Yeah. It's not a big thing to the 20-year-old baddie. It just isn't. The social and the emotional is far bigger. It's far bigger. And then even in terms of looks, do not tell me you've never seen a good-looking guy who could not pull to save his life because you may be that guy. You may be that guy. There's plenty of good-looking guys who just can't pull to save their life. It's very, and so the whole look spurging thing doesn't help. When I was 21, 22, I didn't know what I was doing in fucking clubs. I'm pretty sure I was probably better looking than I am now, but I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. I was certainly in better. I was like training loads. And I'm still training a lot now, but whatever. It's like if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you're not gonna succeed. Yeah, I was hesitant. I didn't really know what was unfamiliar with the situation, like nightclubs and stuff. So yeah, didn't get any. Got zero results. Compare that to like late 20s, early 30s. Familiar, operator, bald. I'm fucking bald. Um, yeah, loads of girls love bald guys as well. By the way, people talk with no experience, like insulting bald guys. Like, oh yeah, he's like, bro. I've had so many girls be like, yeah, your head is so sexy. Like shaved head is so sexy. So many girls have said this to me. So that's another thing as well. Just so many myths out there. Like, oh, you're old, you're old. Yeah, loads of girls like older guys. It's just the whole thing is just fucking ridiculous. Um, yeah, the fucking wheat faggot on whatever his channel is, Wheat Waffles, poison the whole generation of men. What a surprise! Instead of like being this is going to be a short rant, but instead of like being the guys of my generation, I'm 40, where when we were 21, 22, some guys didn't really get it. And what would you do? You just keep going. Just keep going out, keep building your friend circle. And then all of a sudden you get popular quickly. Happens. And then all of a sudden you're known as a playboy and you've got a hot girlfriend or whatever. This is what guys would do. Now you got guys going on the fucking internet, bleating and moaning, not improving themselves, not giving themselves the option to improve, and just saying, "Oh, it's because I'm not looks maxed enough." It's just fucking stupid. It's just fucking stupid. Honestly, if I met that guy, I would tie a rope around his fucking neck and throw him off my balcony. Probably get banned from YouTube. I literally despise these guys because hundreds of thousands of men, young men, are being poisoned by that. Um, you're not hearing the right message. The right message is the emotional message because that's actually reality. It's actually reality. Um, Even girls, right? Get this. Even girls have said to me. Some girls have said to me that I've pulled over the years. They've said, "I think you're too good for me," and what they meant by that was, "I think you could get a hotter girl than me. I don't think I'm good looking enough for you." I've had girls say that to me, and even then, sometimes, like if I wasn't spiking them emotionally, I would think back. I'm like, that's so interesting. So she thinks I'm too good for her, but I remember those initial interactions. I wasn't getting any emotional response out of her, and she was disinterested. So even a guy that she perceives to be too good looking for her, if there's not the emotional aspect peaking there, it's not going to work. That just shows you where we need to focus our attention. So this is your way into the nines and tens. You've got to be on some kind of a level yourself, though, guys. On this point, if the girl's like a, she's. If I could show you now the girl I was messaging last night, fuck me, that is a species I've not seen very often. But I found through cold approach, but she's not very responsive, and I found through cold approach that bracket of girls. It's amazing to get the contact. It's fantastic, like the Miss Universe, the Olympic athlete. That bracket of girls is possibly my follow-up as well, but they've just drifted out of my life. So that's something I need to address. But I think the reason is I'm not anywhere near the social circle, and I could just be one rung below a guy who is also in her social circle. So yeah, I think this is something Balthus has also experienced as well. It's like we're now at a point where we're not interested in just pulling the seven for the sake of it, just for the experience. I don't care. I'm not interested. I'm hunting big game. That's what I want. I'm going out for, the equivalent of $1 million contract, or I don't get out of bed. There's no point. There's no point. The rest of them are just warm-ups. And even now, I don't even want to even warm up too much, to be honest. No, I'd rather just go. And so, yeah, so the next thing I'll get onto is just the last thing maybe on, before I answer a couple of questions, the last thing is just scarcity. That level of beauty is actually scarce. So to get abundance with girls like that, again, you need to be in a place where you probably need to be around some kind of model celebrity bullshit. You probably do. Or some kind of elite sports club or something or maybe like a really elite gym. Because to get abundance there, where you feel like completely chill and you're just completely calm. One of the things with girls like that is if you just maintain your calm and you maintain that you're chilled out, have a conversation with them, you will stand out because most guys can't contain themselves around girls like that. So they'll either get really nervous or they'll just say weird stuff or they'll be too whatever. They get distorted by this girl's beauty. Don't do that. Just as weird as it sounds, you actually have to look past the beauty as if it's just like a mask that she's got on or something she's waving in front of you. You just look at her. It's ironic that the way to get that beauty is basically to ignore it, which is a paradox, of course, because you wouldn't go over to her. But this is the world of paradox. What was I saying here? Yeah, scarcity. So to be around a group where all of there's loads of girls like this, and you're just picking from the absolute cream of the crop. That takes a bit of social engineering. Or it takes location as well. Belgrade's a good location. San Domingo is a good location. London, I think, is also good as well. But you're not going to have a stream of tens in fucking Sheffield. It's not happening. You're probably not getting a stream of tens in Ghent. You're not getting a stream of tens in like Nantes, eastern France. You've got to be in a premium place. So go Monaco, Nice, London. I like Belgrade and Santo Domingo because they're actually more interesting places, but they have extremely hot women. So you're getting more towards abundance, but even so, there's rarity within that abundance as well. So there's a girl I missed earlier this week. I didn't go in for. I was waiting for a taxi. I was gonna be late for work. I was actually quite stressed out because I was worried about getting back for work. I saw one, and my taxi was still 15 minutes away, so I could potentially have gone in for the approach, but I don't know. I just felt stressed, and I didn't do it. And then she walked past again, and I was like, I know that's ruined my day now. And yeah, she's still in my head now. So that's a good one. Put on a personal note, those girls, they stay in your head. They stay in your head because she was feline. She was like that half Guyanese girl. She was utterly feline, and she had slightly higher cheekbones as well. Which some of these Haitian girls have got incredibly high cheekbones. So as a connoisseur of beauty, this is yeah, her body was so fine though. It was ridiculous, like a cat. And she's like maybe about my height, maybe a little bit taller, which is, yeah, just a girl like that. I like dancing with girls like that as well because for Kizomba, it's actually better to dance with a girl who's my height for Kizomba. So, yeah, scarcity within abundance. That girl was scarce that I saw whenever it was, Wednesday or something. I'm not seeing that every single time I go out, even here. And so for those girls, you got to go. You have to go. When you see that, you've just got to fucking go. You just got to go balls to the wall, see what happens. The other thing as well, maybe just the last thing I'll finish on is the social media side of things. So having maybe in your WhatsApp, if you get the girl's number, maybe a landing page for the girl. This is something we've talked about a lot. We've gone back and forth about this because guys who are into daytime approach, we want to get away from this digital world, just gay digital fucking world, which does favor women a lot. Like their game, their looks game, and like everything they do to manipulate, like cameras and all that kind of shit, it favors them way more. So it's hard to feel like you're on the same level as them, even though they're just taking fucking photos. But they know this is a massively empowering thing for them, and it's quite disempowering for men. But that being said, it is a useful landing page, and so it's something I'm going to be experimenting with this year. I was thinking about putting some money down for photo shoots, but I'm just like I've got limited resources. I can't be spending fucking all my cash on, I'll spend my cash basically on my apartments and travel, and shooting guns. Spending loads of money on photo shoots as well, I'm not willing to do. So what I'm going to do is just collate the best possible photos I can. I've already got some quite good ones. Maybe take a few more just myself, or get friends to take a few more, and then just have a baseline where my Instagram goes from like a 2 out of 10 to like maybe a 7. It might be enough. It might be enough of a landing page for some of these girls. It might pique a little bit of interest. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it was something I was thinking about yesterday. I saw this girl, she was out, so she was posting, and I was like, I messaged her, and she did message me back, but then well, it drifted off. But I was like, man, when I was with her, I was in control. This girl. So let me describe this girl. She had a Japanese tattoo, like on her, I think like maybe somewhere on her arm or her chest, but only a small one, and then one on her back as well. I'd say she was about 5'8", 5'9". Perfect, like her skin was the color of like cafe latte, like luscious lips, like Dominican lips, like fine eyes, like really fine eyes. Sleek body, like perfectly slim, and dark, like just like mahogany hair, like just beautiful, completely beautiful. and she was in Starbucks, and I was like, I've got to go for that. Got to go for that. And so I went over, and I waited. I picked my shot until I waited till she was sat down. I was like, okay, great. She sat there, and she was sat. The line was next to her, and there was a group of people next to her as well. So I went over and just approached. Obviously, everyone was looking at me. People don't approach in Santiago at all, so everyone's looking at me. And just chatted her up. And the interesting thing was, she was almost mute. She said fuck all. She was like very, very quiet. She was quite serene. Bit like a Serbian girl, actually. Some of the Serbian girls. But if anything, she was a bit nervous. Like, she was a touch nervous. I had more of an advantage in that interaction than she did. And she definitely enjoyed the interaction. It was a good conversation. It's probably about 20, 30 minutes. It was fairly long. Got her number. Had a few messages with her. And then she faded off. And I've been seeing her. She updates quite a bit on WhatsApp. She updates, and every time I see her, I'm like, fuck me, she's unbelievable. And I saw her yesterday. She's got blonde hair. She's bleached her hair. I don't know if that's a red flag, but she's got bleached blonde hair. And then she goes out yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even see her tits. Her tits are fucking huge. I was like, oh my God. This girl is like, she is the standard, man. She is the standard. The only thing I don't like is the tattoos. But, yeah, so I'm like, how can a guy digitally compete with that? What do you even need? Do you need to be on a fucking plane, like a private jet? But even that looks a bit beggy. So there's a visceral thing with their beauty, that it's quite hard to compete with virtually. And the guys who seem to be doing well, I'm looking at what they're spending. I'm like, dude, this is thousands of dollars you put into your Instagram profile, probably 10 grand. Yeah, I can't justify spending 10 grand on my fucking Instagram profile. So I'm just gonna source it up a little bit. But yeah, I still have a question. Is it still gonna be enough? Having a top 25% Instagram, okay, is that actually gonna be enough in conjunction with the approach? In conjunction with the approach, it might be, because the approach is really the part that stands out. And so working on that digital landing page, I'm going to experiment with that, and we'll just see what comes of it. We'll see what comes of it. I do think it's a very good 1-2 combination, where you've got daytime approach plus a digital landing page, and it's an extra touch point for the girl, which in an ideal world you'd be seeing it around in a social circle. That would be the ideal world. That would be better. But if you can't have that, if you're traveling around like me and you go in different places, you effectively don't have a social circle. So you need to show some of this. You need a touch point online with some of these girls, or it can be helpful. So it's all about the odds. We're just playing odds all the time. We can shift the odds from not talking to the girl. That girl I saw in Starbucks, there is a chance I will go out with her. There is a chance. If I'd not spoken to her, the chance would be precisely zero. If I'd not gone for the number close, the chance would be zero. So I've got the close. She's peripheral but responsive. Peripheral but responsive. Very, very grey zone. Very, very grey. Dark grey. But she's there. If, let's say, for example, attached to my WhatsApp, I've got my Instagram profile below, and that's actually appealing and interesting, then we get to a slightly lighter shade of grey. Then if I see the girl at any point again, then I think we're probably going into green light, in my opinion, unless she's seen someone else. That's just one example, but I'm using that example because I'm like, yeah, that's for sure as a 9 or a 10. Some guys would be like, that's a 12. Some guys in Europe would say, I've never seen a girl like that before. This is global standard. This is Dominican standard. It's Brazilian standard. Brazilian Miss Universe. It's Belgrade, peak Belgrade standard. Yeah, it's like very, very high level. That's what an actual 9 or a 10 is. That's the standard though. It's not special. They're just a lot more rare, but it's not special. But yeah, there'll be guys in the UK be like, no, that's a 12. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but realistically, what that means is the girls you thought were 10s in the UK, they're probably 8s, realistically. Um, so yeah, so that's another tactic as well. So this has been a little bit rambly, guys. Because I'm thinking on my feet here of how to problem solve on this particular question where you're traveling globally and you're looking for the absolute best of the best. So be aware, you've got to go in like a wolf. You've got to. You don't get to opt out of that. But there are other things we can also do to tip the odds in our favor. Social circle is massive, and then I do think social media is gonna be a factor as well. It's obviously more manipulative and diva-ish on the social media side of things. To actually get it good, you're gonna have to think about it. You're gonna have to do some actual put some thought into it. You have to be selective with what you show to actually get it good enough to be an effective landing page. So that's something I'm going to be working on this year as well in the background. I was looking through photos last night, just thinking about selecting a few just to get started, and we'll see. We'll see. I don't even think at the moment, I don't even think I've got the photos actually to be anything other than, oh, that's nice. Even though I've got some photos taken by a professional photographer, I think what you actually need to really pique curiosity, I actually think it's like pretty extreme to be in that top 1%. I think yeah, but I'm gonna do my best with it, see what happens. Yeah, one outside, it's superficial. Digital footprint is most important. We can just treat it as a tool. Yeah, that's the perfect way of saying it. Digital footprint, and it's just like you don't need it. You don't need it, but they just realize if it's something you can leverage and it can assist you, I would rather do it. I'd rather actually start playing that game now, because I'm like, there's so many, like, not to be arrogant, but there's so many, that approach I put in on that girl was a fucking masterclass. Like, if anyone watched that from the outside, well, there were people watching it from the outside. If anyone who appreciates cold approach watched it, they would still be like, dude, that's a fucking ballsy approach. You're going in front of the queue and those people, and you're macking this complete smoke show in Spanish for like 30 minutes, and you get the number. It would be like high fives all around. And so to not have something to support that work is, and it just fades away. And just because there wasn't enough of a footprint, there wasn't enough there for the girl to find out a little bit more and get more attracted to me. It seems tragic to allow that kind of work to go to waste. You know, some of the approaches we're doing, some of the approaches I'm doing are just so out there. So to let that go to, and it's like, it's effort as well, you know, like, it's not like I didn't feel a sense of like, this is interesting. There's a lot of people around here. And it's also the amount of training I've done to get to that point where I can actually do that. 3 years ago, I just couldn't have even done that approach. So, yeah, to not have like something to support that approach like digitally seems tragic. So that's why I'm going to start to work on it. Anything that can give me an extra 15%, I will definitely take. Yeah, the real life one though is that puts me in the picture. That girl, like, what I love about daytime approach is you're saying, fuck the system, I will reach out into the world and I will grab the world. Literally, I will grab the world by the scruff of the neck, say, right, you're coming with me, we're going over here. This is what we're doing. We're not, I'm not waiting, I'm not waiting 3 years to get my social circle to the peak in one place. I'm not waiting till I become a millionaire. I'm going right now. Reality belongs to me. This belongs to me. In this animalistic setting of men and women, I'm the king. So you're going to come with me. That's the kind of mindset that's going on. And that's why I love it so much. Guys have their different reasons for loving it, but like, you can literally reach into the matrix and just bend the lines like Neo does the ones and zeros. You're just moving them. No, no, no. I know you NPCs are doing your program and you think this isn't real. This is real. I'm at the base software right now. I'm going to the baseline right now, male, female. And it's an incredible tool. It's so powerful. It's so fucking powerful. But like even Neo is still in the fucking matrix. Like you can't escape some of these things. So yeah, that's another tool I'll be working on. So there we go. The game is a little bit different at that upper echelon. It's not too different, but it's just a little bit different because the girl's got very premium options. Of course, she knows how good she is, but don't think that just because you're not the Giga Chat, this is something that like I mean, you can see it on my channel. Just look at the videos. Look at the videos. You know, your biggest purchasing power as a man is your balls and your confidence. You could put 10 models around me, 10 rent boy little models, 6'2", jacked male models, and I guarantee, in almost every scenario, they'll look to me. I guarantee it, because especially if they're younger, unless one of them is something of a leader who's got charisma, they're probably going to look to me for leadership. It's just what's going to happen. Yeah. So, and women feel this as well. Women feel this as well. And this is why power is the aphrodisiac, because it's like it's going back into that tribal. It's like going back into those tribal days where to affiliate with a more of a leadership figure really would assure the survival of your offspring as a woman. Yeah. And I felt this. I'm sure I was the pretty boy when I was 21, 22. You should have fucking seen me. Jesus. Looked like a young Johnny Depp back in those days. I copied his style, copied his hairstyle. Yeah. And I would just get battered. I would get battered and bruised by like 30-year-old men in approach. They would just steal the girl who was the same age as me. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. He's just got so much more charisma than me. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I had girls, like in retrospect, I had girls literally making passes at me for my looks when I was younger, but I was so retarded, I didn't know what to fucking do. It's so embarrassing. But yeah, this is why I know this game, is because I've been on all different sides of it. And yeah, I had girls making passes at me when I was younger, 21, because of my looks. And I didn't fucking know how to capitalize. I didn't know how to lead. I was fucking useless, basically. And guess what happened? Some ugly bastard comes along and fucking nails the girl. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. There's enough about that. I've ranted and raved. This video might get banned because I did say something. I would like to do something quite violent to one of these guys. I think he's getting off the internet. I don't check in with the black pill community very often, but I saw something. The guy was saying he was leaving the internet, so I hope he is. Good fucking riddance. Fuck off. You are a complete cancer that needs to be excised. Maximum impact. Unless you're Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. Let's say the girl I approached there. The fact is, there could have been other guys, and there could have been a millionaire model in that mall, but he didn't fucking approach her because he doesn't have the balls. Yeah? He just watched her go past because he didn't have the fucking balls. Here, Los Tigres, they call them Los Tigres, the street guys, Dominican street guys. Bro, they've got balls on their balls, these guys. Yeah, they are just macking all the time. They're just like animals, and half of them are ugly bastards. Some of them literally live off women. They literally live off like Canadian women and stuff like that. They're just animals, dude. Animals. And they get what they want with the local girls as well. This is the thing when you like, people think you'll go to Dominican Republic and Brazil and stuff and it will all be on easy street. If you're good at approach and you go and approach, yeah, you'll get results. But if you don't, the girls are not going to throw themselves at you. And then you'll see, I've seen girls that I've approached and they got their numbers and stuff. I'll see them out like on some evening and they're with one of Los Tigres. They're with one of these local fucking slime balls who just got absolute charisma. It's just like, they just got such self-confidence. It's like the perfect level of self-confidence where it wouldn't even occur to you to lack self-confidence. Like it's basically retard maxing. It's like, and I'm not they're not stupid, but when it comes to this, they just don't think. There's no thought that goes in. And yeah, they do pretty well for themselves. And yeah, obviously, I noticed the foreign girls particularly like them. The local girls, some of them do, but the foreign girls particularly like them. Um, yeah. And it's interesting. Some girls I've noticed, like when I had the tat on and stuff like that, when I had the fake tat, some girls were really into that, which was kind of like, it's a bit disappointing that, to be honest with you, sort of makes you be like, right, so I'm more attractive that I'm just following this fashion of getting tattoos. Like, I'm not really a bad boy, am I really? Everyone's got tattoos these days. So that was an interesting one. There are some girls who are quite fit. They want, especially in the West, they want like the degenerate type of guy. Like, there's a market seller. There's a guy on just out. I'm looking out the window because I'm just thinking of where he works. A guy literally just hustles in the market, right? And these two girls from Guyana I approached. They were French, so they were quite annoying. Unfortunately, French Guyana, the girls, they're basically French girls. So I approached them, whatever, and after a while, like, they were kind of like, I think I actually did close one of them, but they was a little bit bitchy towards me. But yeah, you can still close bitchy girls, and I saw them around once or twice again, and nothing ever went anywhere. And then I saw them, they were coming to visit this guy, and it was all giggly, and it was like, oh, this guy, he's like really exciting. And I'm like, I know that guy. I'm like, he is a guy who literally works on the street. His job is selling trinkets to tourists and also selling tattoo. This is what they do. They start you off with a trinket, then they offer you a tattoo, then they offer you an apartment, then they offer you drugs, then they offer you a chick. And I'm not even joking. They'll be like, ¿quiere una camisa? No, no, thank you. Un tatuaje? No. Un apartamento? No. My friend, no. I don't want una chica, marijuana? No. They will just sell anything, right? And the guy's like skinny as a fucking rail, covered in tats. Just looks like he's like got no self-esteem. And these girls are coming to visit him every fucking weekend. They work in the fucking French embassy or the Guyanese embassy. I'm like, what is it with this social diving bullshit? Like, I think like maybe Lil Wayne's responsible for it. Covered his face in fucking tattoos. All the girls liked him. Yeah. So that one, I'm like, if I want to get a tattoo, I'll do it because I want to get one. I'm not fucking getting one to impress girls. But it was an interesting experiment. Yeah, it was an interesting experiment. And actually, there's definitely that certain bracket that they love the like skinny, tattooed, lost artist. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Weird, whatever weird shit goes on in women's heads. But yeah, there's enough out there for you not to have to worry about changing your fucking body ink. Change your body composition, but you don't need to change your skin tone. Yeah, just to get girls. Yeah, the tattoo thing, I was thinking about it. I was like, I'll start to wind down the live now, but I was like, I enjoyed having it for about 3 days, and afterwards I was kind of annoyed. I was like, I kind of want to see my skin. I kind of like my skin, you know. So I don't think I would get. I would have. I don't think I would get a real tat. I might just start buying these fake ones and just wearing them just as a social experiment. It might titillate the girls a little bit, but I'm not permanently defacing my beautiful, Northern European skin. I'm not defacing that just to get a few more chicks. But I'll put a fake one on for a weekend. Fake fucking tat millionaire. Yeah, guys don't have balls these days. Yeah. So boys, that's my live. I'm absolutely going like I'm putting it in on these lives, boys, every single day. Hopefully you found something that's useful. That was quite high level today, and that's genuine experience. This is problem solving as well at an upper echelon level, where we're going for the best, really the best of the best. And the main takeaways would be approach like a wolf. Social circle massively, and familiarity massively plays into your favor with the hottest of the hot. A digital landing page is also very helpful. something to work on, something I need to work on. And then emotional spikes as well, emotionality with these girls, emotionality. If you knew how irrational girls were, like emotionality, spiking the emotions. Yeah, you could be the same guy, same looks, and you don't spike the emotions, nothing happens. And you could be a different guy and you just spike their emotion. This is what certain guys know, and certain guys don't. And you think it's the looks or whatever, it's not. It's not. It's not the money either. It's not. Those things are actually, they come into play, definitely. Obviously, looks come into play to a point. But there are many more highly attractive women than there are highly attractive men. They just are. Like, they put more emphasis on it. So, yeah. We'll leave things there anyway, boys. Yeah, no tattoos is the new tattoo. Yeah, exactly. Where almost everyone's got it. Yeah. Yeah, it's like here in like Latin America, my ex-girlfriend, she wanted me to get an earring, she wanted me to get a tattoo. I'm just like, I know that's like the Latino bad man look, but I'm not getting a fucking earring, love. Like, fuck off. I'm not getting an earring. I'm not getting a fucking tattoo just to titillate you. She was so excited when I got the fake tattoo. She was just so excited. But ultimately, it doesn't really make any difference. I've approached in all 99, practically every approach I've ever done, I've not had any visible tattoo, so it literally makes no difference at all. Yeah, some girls dig it though. So anyway, we'll leave things, yeah, stay raw and primal. We'll leave things there, boys. I'll be coming back in tomorrow. We just keep pushing with these lives. I am trying to push the pace with them, trying to really delve into the deepest topics and just share all my experiences so that you guys have got more information, more inspiration. And boys, it's what, 11? It's about 11 o'clock here. So if you're in the US, or if you're in Canada, you need to get yourself out today, boys. Get yourself out. Don't just watch the lives. It's Saturday. Go to the mall and pay the girl 3 compliments. Stop her, look her dead in the eyes. First of all, dress well. Stop the girl, look her dead in the eyes. Pay her a direct compliment, a bold compliment. Not just you look nice today, you look incredible. You know, that type of energy. And just see where things go. So 3 compliments today, boys. Get yourself out and just do your 3 compliments. Fuck the numbers, fuck anything else. Just take the action of doing 3 compliments. Then we can see about numbers and we can see about following up on the conversation. But get 3 compliments in. And they all fucking love compliments, for fuck's sakes. Jesus Christ. Why do you think they're doing everything they do? They're doing it for attention. Okay, so you actually go over and give them that ballsy attention. Okay? But don't be supplicating with it though. Don't be, oh, you look beautiful today. No, it needs to be man to woman. It's like it's almost like you're complimenting down in a way. You look incredible today. Or you're either complimenting horizontal or down. You're not looking up, oh, you look amazing today. No, you look amazing today. Or you look incredible today. I don't know if I'm describing it right. It's almost like you're complimenting down into them. So hit that, boys. Get your compliments in. I'll see you again tomorrow. If you've watched this live and you tune in tomorrow, you better have gone out and done your compliments. 3, minimum 3, right? Unless you close the first one. The first one goes well, fuck the other 2 off. Close her, yeah? Take her down. The alligator drags its prey down into the river and rolls around with it. Take her to the bathroom in the mall. Bone her in the mall. So yeah, I will be doing that, boys. I still practice what I preach. I've got loads of other things to do, but I will be going out and I will be doing some approach today because I'm wing bro, that's what I do. So I will leave things there. I'll catch you boys tomorrow.